very fast and very explosive, and you can look for the Rams to try to take advantage of that early and often in this ball game, both by throwing the football to them and running them. We talked to Mike Martz. He says we are not going to change what we do offensively, and what they do is throw the ball often down the field to these explosive wide receivers.
All right, I think that the onus has to be on the Jets. They have seen many different approaches on how to handle that tremendous St. Louis offense. What might their plan be today?
Well, I think they're going to use a variety of things. And the number one thing is to disrupt the rhythm of Kurt Warner. They're going to try and do that with their 4 down linemen. They're going to bring 5 or 6 with some blitzes. Look for Mo Lewis to line up outside as a pass rusher. But the most important thing is the offense. They've got Curtis Martin. They need to take some time off the clock, establish the running game. Watch for Vinny Testaverde to let that play clock run down to 1 or 2, 3 seconds left.
All right, and right now our UPS keys to the game. First, the Rams.
Well, the big thing is they got to get Trunk Candidate involved in this game early and let him get into the flow of things. The other thing that they have to do on defense is they have got to contain the Jets running back Curtis Martin.
It's going to be important for them to control the clock, and Herman Edwards used this in Tampa Bay in the 1999 NFC Championship game, and sure tackling. Their receivers like to catch their passes in full stride. They can't let them get those extra yards.
So the stage is set. It'll be the Rams against the Jets in an interconference battle, and we'll be back for the opening kickoff in just a moment. And welcome back to the Meadowlands here at East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the St. Louis Rams, who are 3-0 on the road, taking on the Jets, who have already lost 2 at home. And let's send it down to Pam Oliver, who's with the Rams quarterback, Kurt Warner.
All right, Dick, thanks a lot. Kurt, you have the luxury of a lot of weapons, but your minus a pretty big one today. What do you need from Trunk Candidate?
We just need Trunk to be consistent. You know, we need to have him get going in the running game, sustain us in the running game, make the plays that are there to be made, not try to force anything, not try to do too much, not try to feel the pressure too much. Let the other guys work their things and get open and make the big plays, but just be consistent in there for us.
No secret you took a beating last week, and I'm sure the Jets are going to try to do the same. How confident are you that you can get protection up front? I'm
very confident. You know, I think that was a one-time thing. Unfortunately, we had some guys banged up and hurt a little bit, but, you know, we're strong this week. We feel good going in, and, you know, obviously it's going to be a key. We need to get protection, but if we do, I think we're going to be all right.
All right, have a good one. Thank you very much. Let's go back upstairs to Dick.
All right, Pam, and they should get it because the defensive front of the Jets not nearly as proficient as the Giants, and Mike Martz aware of that. And speaking of Trunk Candidate, he said to us that he'll shock you with his speed. That is one asset that he has that may be superior to Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, and everybody that we talked to over the last couple of days, they all rave about the explosiveness of this guy and his speed, and they want to get the ball in his hands, and they'd like to get the ball in his hands out in the open field to where he can utilize some of that speed.
And Moose, as far as the Jets are concerned, they are still adjusting to the transformation under Herman Edwards from the 3-4 to the 4-3 front.
Going from a 3-4 to a 4-3 front, and also Ted Cottrell coming over from Buffalo, and they used the 3-4 in Buffalo. So a lot of different things going on there. And also the offensive side of the ball, they're trying to install this West Coast offense. So there's a big learning curve right now for the New York Jets on both sides of the football.
And there is Marshall Faulk, and believe me, he wanted to play all week. He was in Mike Martz's ear, and Martz telling me before the game that there is no guarantee that he will suit up for next week's critical clash against the New Orleans Saints. They will decide during the week. So we're ready to go. The Jets have won the toss, and Jeff Wilkins will kick off for the Rams. Lamont Jordan and Craig Yeast, number 84, to return for the Jets. And the kickoff going into the end zone, and Craig Yeast will run it out from 3 yards in. And Yeast gets some running room and gives the Jets good field position on the opening kickoff, returning it 35 yards. The New York Jet offensive line, it has been a solid one. Paced by the anchor at center, Kevin Mawai. Corbett and Lavernius Coles. Coles catching 2 touchdown passes last week, but Curtis Martin, the leading rusher in the National Football League. He is the only number 28 playing today. We could have had 2 brilliant ones. So Vinny Testaverde, who has yet to throw an interception, starting from the 33. And the tight end, Anthony Beck, going in motion, and pressure on Testaverde from Chidi Ahanatu, and there's a penalty flag down back inside the 20. Referee Terry McCauley. And they're going to call intentional grounding against Vinny Testaverde. An inauspicious start for the New York Jets. And Vinny.
Boy, I don't know about that call. They got Vinny running a bootleg out here, getting outside. He's close to being outside. Well, the problem there is he probably got outside the tackle box there, but the ball has to travel beyond the line of scrimmage, and it did not do that there.
And Richie Anderson, his intended receiver, who was coming underneath, got caught up in some traffic with that play action and actually just stumbled down. He would have been right in the area that Vinny threw the ball.
Well, Hanadu put on the pressure, but Leonard Little has replaced him on a passing situation, to say the least. 2nd and 26, and they run the ball with Curtis Martin for the first time, and he picks up about 5 on the play. Well, the Rams defense, night and day compared to their performance of a year ago. Rookie Damian Lewis, but Grant Wistrom, one to watch. Brian Young is the other tackle. London Fletcher, the middle linebacker, with Mark Fields and Don Davis, 2 new faces on the outside. And in the secondary, Dexter McCleon and the veteran Aeneas Williams. And Adam Archuleta, the rookie safety, as Lovie Smith coming over from Tampa Bay. He was the linebacker coach there, and he has turned this Ram defense around dramatically. 3rd down and 21, and the handoff inside to Richie Anderson. He breaks a couple of tackles, but doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. And 4th down coming up, and the Jets will kick.
And right there, just a situation where Herman Edwards wants to manage the field position. He doesn't want to take any risks right now early in the football game, take a chance on having the turnover or punting from deep in his own territory. So right now, he wants to kick the ball, cover this punt, and make St. Louis drive the length of the field.
Tom Tupa, whose average is at the bottom in the NFL, gets off a good kick. Oz Hakeem at the 25, looking for running room up the middle, and he is dragged down as he gets close to the 35-yard line. So now the Rams go on offense, and Kurt Warner leading the way, the #1 rated passer in the entire league. The offensive line, Orlando Pace is the ace, and Rod Jones replaces Ryan Tucker, who is dressed but hurt, at right tackle. Trunk candidate, the main running back, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, just 2 of a host of wide receivers.
And it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on Rod Jones, the tackle, who's playing in the place of Ryan Tucker, who struggled in last week's game and allowed some big hits on Kurt Warner, to see how he plays today.
Jeff Robinson is in as a 2nd tight end, and he is in motion, and the handoff to Candidate has blockers in front of him, and Trunk Candidate picking up about 3 yards on the play. Marvin Jones on the tackle. The Jets defensively, and they have had problems stopping the run. John Abraham, Steve Martin, Shane Burton, and Sean Ellis. Most of those players have been hurt with nagging injuries. Farrier, Jones, and Mo Lewis, the linebackers. The corners are Marcus Coleman and Aaron Glenn, and Damian Robinson, the free safety, and Victor Green, the strong safety, who clinched last week's game with an interception in the last half minute. 2nd and 7. Ricky Prohl in the lineup, but the pitch goes to Candidate, and Trunk Candidate is stopped at the 42-yard line, about 3 yards short of the first down by Steve Martin.
Well, we talked about how they wanted to try to get the ball into Trunk Candidate's hands early and let him get into the flow of this ball game. And the first 2 plays, they came out, give him the ball and let him run.
It may be a little bit uncharacteristic for the Rams, but remember, this is a defense that struggles against the run. And Trunk Candidate, you talked about his breakaway speed.
Scored the game-winning touchdown against the Giants last week. 3rd and 3. And Kurt Warner going to the air, and the pass intended for Bruce knocked away by Ray Mickens. And so the Jets force the Rams to go 3 and out on their first possession.
Yeah, that's going to be important for the Jets to maintain that throughout this ball game. They've got to limit the opportunities of this offensive football team for the St. Louis Rams. And 3rd downs are going to be a critical key down each and every time they get into that, to keep from giving them more opportunities with the football.
Atlanta jumping up ahead of New Orleans 7-0. John Baker back to kick. Craig Yeast, who was cut by the Cincinnati Bengals in his 2nd week returning kicks. Chad Morton still out with injury. This kick will bounce, and the Yeast will let it roll, and it takes a Ram roll and will be downed at the 10-yard line. 48-yard kick when all is said and done.
Proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
7-yard line. Each team has had the ball once thus far in the game. The New York Jets, who have not been able to put two good halves together, were trailing 17-0 to Miami, came back and won 21-17 to continue their dominance, 7 straight over the Dolphins. Fake handoff, and on the slant, the pass caught by Lavernius Coles. First down for the Jets as we check in with our first game break of the day to James Brown.
Hey,
JB.
Dick, here's the visual embellishment of the score you gave. Chris Chandler, play action, looking for a guy they want to incorporate more in the offense. The tight end, Algie Crumpler, 57-yard touchdown play. Falcons on top. They've outscored their opponents 45-3 in the first quarter. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
You know, the Falcons always give the Saints trouble in New Orleans somehow.
And you just don't see tight ends running down the field like that either.
You had one that might have gotten down there. Jay Novacek, first down on the 23, and here's Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin wending his way with a brilliant piece of running out of bounds, close to the 40, chased out by Kim Herring, as Martin picks up 17.
You watch the blocking up front with Randy Thomas and Ryan Young and Anthony Beck there along that right side, and Curtis Martin, he has an uncanny ability to make people miss. You see right there are bodies around him. He's able to use his feet and his quickness to jump back outside. Kim Herring running him out of bounds, but Curtis Martin has shown that he is the real workhorse for this offensive football team.
He picked up 120 yards last week. Off to a hot start. First down on the 39 of the Jets. Here is Testaverde looking for a target going outside. He was looking finally for Richie Anderson, who was well covered by the rookie Adam Archuleta.
Paul Hackett talked to us about the fact that one of the reasons that Vinny doesn't have the interceptions is because of his management of the game. He's going to get off a guy if he's not open right away, and you saw right there, he's looking downfield, he's going through his progressions, and when nothing's there, he takes a shot out to the flat to Richie Cunningham, but he is not forcing anything this year after that tough season last year.
Yeah, and he's still getting acclimated within the West Coast offense and what's being asked of him, and he's played very well within the constraints of this offensive system.
Second down on the 39, and here again is Martin, but this time the Rams have the answer. Stop for no gain at the 40-yard line. London Fletcher filling in the middle. It's on the tackle.
You know, London Fletcher, one of those guys that's a carryover from last year's football team. 8 new starters on this defensive team for the Rams. London Fletcher, their middle linebacker, he's one of the holdovers and really the somewhat of the ringleader of that defensive football team in there amongst those linebackers.
There are the 3 who are held over, Grant Wistrom and Dexter McCleon. But 8 new starters, and they're gelling in a hurry. 3rd and 9. Testaverde stepping up. Flag goes down. Vinny gets away from danger, and he finally is tackled at the 43-yard line, well short of the first down. And Grant Wistrom, the aforementioned Wistrom, putting the pressure on, and we'll have a face mask call against the Jets.
And Grant Wistrom's going to use his speed to get upfield, and Jason Babini's trying to help inside, and as he reaches out to get on his guy, you can see right there, he gets a handful of face mask and pulls him down.
Face mask, offense. Number 69, penalties decline, 4th down.
So 4th down, and the Jets would have come up short anyway, and now Tom Tupa is on to punt. And Oz Hakeem back deep for the Rams. Rams getting a break with great weather conditions on this natural grass surface. Not much wind, and it's been dry. Here's Hakeem on the 11 returning, and he slips. Well, here we are. That doesn't happen on the carpet. 47-yard punt that time by Tupa. We'll be back, no score. The Rams and the Jets. Rams the only undefeated team remaining in the NFL. Rams second possession of the game starting from the 23. Warner's pass is caught by Oz Hakeem, and he slipped again. Troy, that's the second time Hakeem has slipped, and you wonder about that grass, and Mike Martz may have some concerns about it.
Yeah, that's going to be a factor in this ball game. And I talked to Mike Martz prior to the game and asked him what he thought of the conditions of the field, and it's a real concern of his that on the outside, inside the numbers, the field is in pretty good shape, but outside the numbers, it is very slick. And in last week's ball game against the Jets, there was a number of guys that were slipping. You see here, Akeem, you know, he's slipping, and they're going to have, that's going to be a consideration in this game.
And the pass attempt by Warner is batted down back in his face. Mo Lewis. And you brought it out at the opening, Moose, that the Jets are going to have to rely on other people than their defensive line, and Mo Lewis a prime candidate for that.
And whether they line up Mo Lewis on the outside and let him rush or blitz him from the linebacker spot like they did right here. But one of the important things for this Jets defense, when you get close, get your hands up in the air because this ball comes out a little bit low.
Crowd effector, 3rd down and 9, and here is Kurt Warner, and he's got the open receiver Torrey Holt for the first down at the 40-yard line. A 15-yard pickup with Ray Mickens defending.
Well, one of the things that the Jets are trying to do is they're trying to rush with 4 guys right here, and if you give Kurt Warner time to throw the football, which you will when you're only rushing 4, he's going to find people down the field to throw the football to. Here's Torrey Holt. He finds a hole. Kurt Warner delivers him the football.
Of course, the key for the Jets, I would think, Moose, is that you got to tackle them. Don't let them get more yards after they make that reception. Rams picking up the first down on the fake pitch to Candidate. And Warner now goes back to Trung, who makes the catch, and he slips and is down after a pickup of only a yard.
You know, one of the other points that Mike Martz made when he was talking about the conditions of the field, he said the guy that he thought it was going to affect the most was Trung Candidate. I asked him why that was, and it's because that, as we mentioned earlier in the game, Trung Candidate is a very explosive running back with tremendous quickness, and he felt that he would be the guy who would be affected most by the field conditions.
Mike Martz telling us that the speed that Candidate have will shock you. Very exuberant, but the turf catching up to him. 2nd down and 9 from the 42. Again, Warner looking to throw, getting some pressure. The ball nearly knocked out of his hands, and finally Warner goes down for a loss of about a yard. Shane Burton picking up the sack for the Jets.
Well, now they're able to bring some pressure. They bring the linebackers up inside, and they get all the guys. Mo Lewis coming up the middle, and they get 5 guys rushing, which creates a havoc for the offensive line. John Abraham, number 94, coming off the corner, is able to strip Kurt there. Kurt's lucky he was able to get that ball back.
3rd and 10. The crowd is heard. Trying to escape more pressure, and Warner lets it go, and it's caught by Trung Candidate. And Candidate, as a receiver, gets away. So Kurt Warner, running for his life, hits Candidate for a gain of 29 yards into Jet territory, and a first down on the New York 30.
Just doing a good job of avoiding some of that pressure right there. And you've got Rod Jones. This time it's Sean Ellis to the inside. But look at Kurt. He steps to the outside. He's so patient in the pocket. He doesn't have the happy feet. Stops, sets his feet, throws the ball to Trung Candidate, and there you get to see some of that speed that you were talking about.
Yeah, and Kurt did a great job of showing his poise. He fumbled the snap, was still able to get back and find Candidate, get him the football.
From the 30-yard line, the Rams in Jet territory. Candidate is down quickly by Eric Obagu. Obagu, who played in many run situations last week against the Dolphins, stubs the 2nd-year running back for a loss of a yard.
Well, when you got Obagu on the outside end there, and nobody's even going to come out and block him, he's right here. He's going to come right off the corner. The tackle was trying to give him an influence block. They're trying to run a type of draw and get him rushing up the field, but Obagu sees that, is able to come down the line and make the tackle.
Again, 2 tight ends for the Rams. 2nd and 11. They're trying to protect Kurt Warner. Here's a play-action pass going the other way, and it's Ernie Conwell who makes the play. Conwell inside the 20. Fumbles, and the Jets pick it up. So the Jets, who have been creating turnovers all year long, and Aaron Glenn picking up the fumble, and now give the Jets a +16 in the turnover ratio that has kept them in every game this year. We'll be right back. Jones, who caused the fumble by Ernie Conwell, picked up by Aaron Glenn, giving the Jets a first down on their 13-yard line. Still no score in the first quarter, and a end around by Lavernius Coles. Coles getting by McLeon, and finally cannot stay in bounds, goes out of bounds after picking up 8 yards on the play.
Marvin Jones caused the fumble, but watch Eric Abogu right here. The hustle that he has. He's coming in to pressure the quarterback. All of a sudden, he reads the screen. Watch him chase the ball down the field. And this is a mentality that Herman Edwards has brought to this New York Jets football team. They will have 8, 9, 10 guys around the ball when it's moving downfield. And that is the reason why they are plus 15 in turnover, now plus 16.
Second down and 2 at the 21 for the Jets. They have 3 wide receivers, make it 4 for Vinny Testaverde, opening up the running lane for Curtis Martin, who gets the first down. Well, the Jets do have some weapons.
You take a look at what they're trying to do here. They're going to spread these receivers out right here, and they're going to create 5 in the box right here. And that gives 5 linemen, 5 offensive linemen blocking 5 defensive players. And they like that, and they feel that if they're able to create that, get the ball into number 28, Curtis Martin's hands, and he's going to make something happen with it.
From the 26-yard line, and the pitch going up and out of bounds, Curtis Martin. So a little trickery on the part of the Jets. Richie Anderson getting the handoff and pitching it out to Curtis Martin, who picks up 4 yards on the first down play.
And I like that call there because last week they used a similar formation with some ball handling and came back the other way with Curtis Martin for the big touchdown to get him back in that Dolphins game. So Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, knowing that they're watching the tape, gives them that same look, but gives them a different play going to the different side of the field.
Herman Edwards' intention to let that play clock run down to limit possessions. Down to 4. Second down and 6. Play action. Testaverde's pass complete to Richie Anderson. Second effort will give him the first down at the 37-yard line with Aeneas Williams on the coverage.
Jason Fabini right here working against Grant Wistrom again. You can see how he's always trying to get help to the outside. This time he's able to get out there. He's getting those hands up to the face again around that face mask area.
Yeah, you almost got another face mask there, and Vinny Testaverde doing a very nice job of getting the ball out, and that's stressed very much. And then you look at Richie Anderson. Earlier, he's getting the handoff. He's running the option down the line of scrimmage. Now they split him out. He's a very versatile player, and they use him all over the place.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line, and here's the handoff to Curtis Martin, and he is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Grant Wistrom.
You know, this offensive football team for the New York Jets, and as we mentioned, they're putting in a whole new offense. It's a West Coast offense, and offensive coordinator Paul Hackett has brought this in, and he said everywhere that he's put it in the past, in Dallas he had Danny White as his quarterback, and in Kansas City he had Joe Montana. This is the first time that he's not only had to teach a new offense to the players, but he's also had to teach the new offense to the quarterback, and Vinny has picked this up very well.
A lot of teaching going on as the Jets looking at second down and 11. Curtis Martin stopped short of the first down by 2 yards by Mark Fields.
The strength of this offensive line, guard, center guard. Randy Thomas is going to be coming from your right guard. Watch him pull and kick out Grant Wistrom. The athletic ability that the guard, center guard area has on this football team allows them to do a lot of different things in this running game that keeps that defense on their heels.
And the fact that this offensive line has been playing together as long as what they have, it allows them to really know what each guy is going to do. And people oftentimes don't realize how important it is for these guys to play together.
They let it go down to 1 second. A flag is down, and on third down and 2, Lavernius Coles with the completion, and Vinny Testaverde indicating that in his opinion there was an encroachment penalty against the Rams. Here's Terry McCauley in his 4th season as an NFL referee.
illegal shift, offense, offside, defense, penalties offset, replay third down.
So Vinny was right.
The nose guard was offside.
But the Jets also had an illegal shift, so they'll replay the down.
Well, we talked earlier when the Rams had the ball how important it was going to be for the Jets to stop them on third downs and keep their offense from getting more opportunities. The same holds true here with the Jets offense, that they want to try to maintain ball control, and third downs become critical to take more time off the clock and limit the chances that the St. Louis Rams are going to have offensively.
Third down and 2. Under a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter. Wayne Quebec going in motion, and Testaverde pumps once, and the pass intended for Quebec, and a flag will come down. Dexter McCleon was trying to cover Quebec on an underneath pattern, and the flag will go against the Rams. Again, the officials huddle up, and if it does, it'll be an automatic first down for the Jets, which it will be.
Pass interference, defense, number 21, automatic first down.
Well, that flag came from a long way away. Field Judge Scott Stinson was the one who made that call from a good 30 yards from where the play took place, and
he's got good eyesight.
Here he is right here, Dexter McCleon, number 21. Quebec trying to get back out of the route. McCleon hanging on to him and not allowing him to do it.
So with 1:12 to go in the first, the Jets have a first down at the 47. Penalty flag is down.
Gillette game, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So it'll be 1st and 15, which puts the Jets offense in a bit of a hole move.
Well, you're talking about running that clock down, but you've got to be organized in an offense. Somebody's got to let you know that you're getting a little bit too close on that, and that's one of the risks that they will run if they try and take it down too far. They've got to be happy with letting it get to 1 or to 2 or 3 seconds left on that play clock.
I mean, as we look at the time of possession where the Jets have the edge, you can let it down to 3. You get the idea that way, don't you guys? So 1st and 15 at the 42. Give this to Martin. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, nearly breaks the 3rd. And Curtis Martin running into Ram territory gets 11 of those 15 yards back before Sean Moran finally makes the tackle.
Well, the Rams wanted to start bringing some pressure on them there. You see Lennon Fletcher coming. Neas Williams came off the corner, and Curtis Martin was able to get up inside of the blitz, and that's the weakness of when you blitz. If you're able to get past that front line, you're going to make pretty good yards.
2nd and 4, and for the first time today, the Jets in Ram territory on their 48. First back through is Richie Anderson, and Anderson close to the first down. Looks to be short by a yard, and that may be the last play of the first quarter. Well, it's been a defensive battle thus far, and the Rams, who are one of the top defensive teams in the league, you know they can score points. And that is the end of the first quarter here at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Rams and the Jets are scoreless as Fox NFL Sunday continues. Charging toward the Jets goal line, coughed it up on a fumble, and now the Jets in Ram territory have a 3rd down and 2. And covering up is Vinny Testaverde, a loss on the play. And the Jets will have to kick. So again, Troy, to echo your comments earlier, the 3rd down's always important, and that time the Jets in Ram territory couldn't convert the 2 yards. So Az-Zahir Hakim goes back to the 10-yard line, and Tom Tupa will punt for the Jets. Good kick by Tupa, and this one may sail and does into the end zone for a touchback. So early here in the second quarter by seconds. Continues at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Most of you will see the Mariners and the Yankees, who lead now 2-1, square off in Game 4 of the ALCS here on Fox. You can catch the Diamondbacks, who are on the brink of eliminating the Braves. Game 5 of the NLCS over on Fox Sports Net. Boy, the visiting teams have had the edge in this series, both of them. Check your local listings for the game and channels in your area. First down from the 20, Trunk Candidate with a good upfield cut, picking up 4 yards on the play. So we have a scoreless first quarter early in the second. And Troy, what has caught your eye thus far in what we've seen in the first quarter?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that the Jets have been able to come out and do what it is that they wanted to do. They've controlled the clock. They've got 70 yards rushing in the first quarter. And the other thing is that they controlled the clock for almost 10 minutes in that first quarter.
Is nothing a moral victory for the Jets?
Well, when you play the Rams, nothing might be a moral victory, but they've got to take advantage of the opportunities. They've let a few slip through their fingers already.
On second down and 6, the pass caught by Torrey Holt. And a first down to the 46-yard line of the Rams. A pickup of 21 as we check in on another game break with JB.
Hey, Dick, looking to beat the Skins for the first time in 6 tries. Carolina scores in his play action to Wesley Wall, the tight end, with his 4th straight game with the touchdown catch. On top of Washington in the first by a touch. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
People wondering whether the Rams will go unbeaten. What about the Skins going winless? That hasn't popped its head yet. First down at the 46, and there's a wide receiver screen to Oz Hakeem, and he picks up about 4 yards on the play. Well, the NFC West, 3-team battle in Atlanta, leading New Orleans in the early going thus far.
Yeah, this is one of the better divisions in football right now. 3 very good football teams. I don't know that anybody expected San Francisco to be at the level that they're at right now, but well, there's three teams in New Orleans, San Francisco, and St. Louis playing awfully well.
What a huge game next week, New Orleans versus St. Louis, depending on what really happens today with that undefeated record.
And Mike Martz says he doesn't know whether Marshall Faulk will indeed be ready. Here is a pitch to Trunk Candidate, who changes direction, gets into Jet territory, and is tackled close to the first down marker at the 44 by Rick Lyle.
You know, that's an interesting play. They run the toss to Trunk Candidate, and it looks like he's going to start out to the right. He's going to move this way, and then you watch him. He plants his foot and comes back. You got Kurt Warner lead blocking for him, and Trunk's able to get up inside of that. But what looks like, here's another look at Kurt Warner getting out there trying to secure against Mo Lewis. You know, nothing pretty, but it's effective, and that's a play that they want to use to try to take advantage of the speed of a guy like Trunk Candidate.
And I know that you were always lobbying for that play back in Dallas when we were there, you know, to get you out on the corner.
Lobbying to keep from us running it.
They're short by less than a yard, and meanwhile Moose was lobbying to get the ball more often.
Yeah, you see, neither one worked. You know, we didn't run that play, and we never handed the ball off to Moose.
3rd down and inches for the Rams. On the Jet 44. James Hodgins and Trunk Candidate out of the eye. And the pitch going to Candidate, giving ground and getting the first down, and has open field. And Candidate is knocked down. He put a great fake on Damian Robinson, and finally Mo Lewis making the tackle after a gain of 29 yards to the 16.
Well, talking yesterday with Kurt Warner, one of the things that he said that Trunk needed to work on was his patience. And right here, I tell you what, he shows tremendous patience, because in the beginning, that play didn't look like it was going anywhere, and he picked his hole, let the blocks develop, and turns it into a very big play downfield.
Oh, and this is really his first opportunity to get extensive playing time, and last year it was an injury-riddled rookie year for him, and he's excited about the opportunity to get a chance to come out here and play.
And there's where he's lined up, out to the left, but going the other way is Kurt Warner. If he can get rid of it, he can't, and he is sacked by Rick Lyle. That is the second time the Jets have gotten to Kurt Warner. The Giants got to him several times last week.
Yeah, you just wonder how many hits that he's going to be able to take. As you mentioned, Dick, last week's ball game against the New York Giants, he took 6 sacks, and he got hit even more than that. you take a look at today, and here's 2 sacks and the hits. And in last week's game, the bigger hits were the hits that weren't even sacks.
You would know about that. It's after you let go of the ball. 2nd and 13, and there's the handoff to Trump Candidate. On the draw play, Candidate getting to the 15-yard line. Marvin Jones was in on the play. That was a gain of 4 yards.
You know, that's an interesting play that they run right there. They drop back and they fake the pass. You take a look. They drop back with Kurt Warner. They fake the pass here, and then they run the draw to Trunk Candidate. Now, what they have off of this is what we'll probably see at some point in the game is they'll fake the pass, then fake the handoff to Trunk Candidate, and then throw the ball down the field.
3rd and 9. From the 15. Play fake, and there's the pass into the end zone. Touchdown, Aikman. So business as usual for Kurt Warner and company, and the Rams score first with nearly 5 minutes elapsed in the 2nd quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, the play action, and it works because they've been able to run the ball effectively to Trunk Candidate. It draws the linebackers up, Marvin Jones and Mo Lewis, and Aikman is able to get in behind them and get the touchdown. But it was all set up because of the way that the Rams have been able to run the football with Trunk early in this ball game.
Jeff Wilkins' extra point is good, and the Rams lead it 7-0. Last week, the receivers didn't catch a touchdown pass. They've got 1 now and a 7-0 lead. His backup, who has played well as the kick comes to Craig Yeast inside the 5-yard line. Good speed by Craig Yeast, and Yeast gets into Ram territory. That's the way to bring the Jets back with a 50-yard kickoff return. Kim Herring making the big tackle, perhaps saving more damage.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on new Corollas, 4Runners, and Tundras for a limited time only.
Save by zero.
Play Cash is King at Burger King for a chance to become a millionaire.
After Aikman catching the touchdown pass, giving the Rams the lead. 8 plays, 80 yards. Candidate with 4 carries, 42 yards. And Kurt Warner, by the way, has thrown 6 straight completions in 8 of his last 9, so he has been a hot quarterback. But now the Jets, starting from their best opening spot of the day, the Ram 47. Handoff to Curtis Martin, leaping over defender and picking up 2 yards.
We go back and take a look at that touchdown. James Spurrier right here, number 58. He's going to be responsible for going down in the middle and keeping Aikman from getting there. The play action holds him up just enough, and Aikman is able to get in there. Here it is right here. If you take a look at Kurt Warner dropping back, making the fake, but the thing that's most impressive is the way he sees the play and lets go of the football. No indecision on his part.
2nd and 8. And a penalty marker.
False start. Offense. Number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains
Tight end
down.
Anthony Beck, 5 yards. Let's check in now with James Brown on a Fox game break.
Hey, Dick, take a look. Chicago's up 10-0, but the key play was the A-train. Anthony Thomas, 46 yards. Longest run for scrimmage for the rookie. And that set up the Fred Baxter touchdown. It's 10-0 Bears over Chris's Bengals. Back to Dick, Troy, and Darryl.
All right, JB, thank you very much. Back here in Sunsplash Meadowlands. Jets trailing by 7. 2nd and 13. Back at midfield, and here is Testaverde going to Beck. And Beck picking up about 6 or 7 yards up on that play. London Fletcher on the stop, and they get to the 41 of St. Louis.
You know, going back to the field position that the Jets have been able to create for themselves on the last 2 kickoff returns for the Jets, they've gotten great yardage and really big returns. And one of the things that Mike Martz told us in last night's meeting with him was that his kickoff coverage team has been outstanding, but the 2 kickoff coverages that they've had today, they've been less than stellar.
Anything but. 3rd and 5. Testaverde with the short drop. The fade. Flag is down. Lavernius Coles was the intended receiver. And a flag is down.
We're going to get Dexter McLean on pass interference and Lavernius Coles.
And the preliminary signal pointed to a penalty against the Jets, and now they got it straightened out, I think.
Pass interference. Defense.
Yep,
Number 21. Automatic first down.
Here's a look. Lavernius Coles starts outside, comes back in, and after the 5 yards, Dexter McLean is hanging on to him just enough that they're going to throw the flag for pass interference.
And some people might say that was an uncatchable ball, but by him holding him and disrupting his run, you know, he's not able to get into that position to make the catch.
That's the second time that McLean has been called for pass interference, so he appears to be the target for Vinny Testaverde. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. And here is the screen to Richie Anderson. Anderson knocked out of bounds. And a flag is down at around the 10-yard line. Richie Anderson knocked out of bounds, but a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
There is no foul for holding. First down.
That's the best thing you can do. Pick up the flag if there is no foul. So a 20-yard pickup will go into the books for the Jets.
You wonder how some of these plays work the way that they do, and Kevin Mawai does a great job of coming out and leading on that screen pass. He's the center right there coming out. Keep your eye on him, and he comes out and makes a block, which is able to spring Richie Anderson up inside, and he's the one who made it all happen.
So the 20-yard gain by Anderson, giving the Jets a first down at the 12 of the Rams. Curtis Martin looking for running room, picks up 3. And this is where Herman Edwards guys told us that getting 3 won't be enough in the red zone against this prolific offensive team. They've got to get the touchdown.
You can't miss your opportunities in the red zone, and that's one area that the Jets really focused on this week. The fact that they know that St. Louis has the ability to put a lot of points on the board. They don't know how many opportunities they're going to get in the red zone. When they do, they can't kick field goals.
And you can talk about the Jets. They're ranked 22nd in the league in offense, but in scoring, they do a great job of scoring when they get inside the red zone. They're 10th in scoring and very efficient down here in the red zone.
2nd and 7. Play action for Testaverde. Going underneath, completing to Wayne Corbett. And Corbett, all he needed to do is get the first down, and it's close to the sticks. Corbett is tackled by Tommy Polley, a rookie, and Aeneas Williams.
You know, and Corbett, all Corbett does is make plays. It seems like whenever you watch this guy, he's out there making plays and making difficult catches. And this West Coast offense has been a little bit of a transition for him in that
Number 71 has reported as an eligible receiver.
in that a lot of the things that he does, and he does effectively, have been taken out of this offense. And everyone's having to get adjusted to the fact that things are a little bit differently within this West Coast offense. And Wayne's a little bit frustrated with his role within this offense, but he understands that long term, he's going to be very effective.
Tied for 2nd in the league with the red zone offense. It was a first down by the Jets. 1st and goal at the 2. Curtis Martin trying to get to the goal line, and a flag comes flying. Tommy Polley, a rookie from Florida State, and a holding call against the Jets. And again, we can't reiterate more. This is where the Jets can't squander opportunities. They did the last time when Testaverde fumbled.
Holding offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty.
And recovered
first down.
his own fumble. And now the Jets getting to the 2-yard line. Kerry Jenkins reported, and he's holding.
And there's Kerry Jenkins right there. He's the guy that moved out to the tight end area. I tell you what, I don't like that call because if the guy goes to the ground, they're going to throw the flag. And, you know, it's down on the goal line. It's an area of the field where things are happening. And Dick, you pointed out the fact that this is an area you cannot have penalties in the red zone, so just let the guys play in this area of the football field.
So there's the play clock running down, and Vinny Testaverde will have to call a timeout. And he is incensed, and he's arguing with the referee, Terry McCauley. Terry turns his back.
Schultz never knew there were tunnels.
He didn't want to know, but you're missing the point of the story. A young entrepreneur engrossed in a Hogan's Heroes marathon neglects to ship an important package.
Did he know about the radio and the coffee pot?
He knew nothing. Now focus. Like a swallow returning to Capistrano, he instinctively heads to FedEx. They give his small business package the big business treatment.
And another hobgoblin of success falls victim to FedEx efficiency. What is a hobgoblin? A gnome. A mean, angry gnome.
The reinvented Camry. One look, and you're gonna want one.
The Mariners made a statement, taking Game 3. Now the M's look to even the series against Clemens and the Yankees. Big unit.
One that we had on that last play, you saw Vinny Testaverde very upset. Watch London Fletcher kick the ball right there as the Jets come up. Kevin Mawai is trying to get the offense set, and he moves the ball. They're forced to call the timeout, and that was the problem right there. We thought maybe they wanted to reset on the clock, but the officials got to notice that he moved that ball.
So it is the first and goal at the 12-yard line. And the Jets with 2 timeouts remaining in this first half. And the pitch going to Curtis Martin. Martin has some blockers in front, and he is tripped up at the 5-yard line by London Fletcher, picking up 6 yards on the play. Remember, the Jets had a first and goal at the 2, and they're trailing by 7.
Well, this Jets offensive line, they've just done a fantastic job of getting off the ball, and they're really reestablishing the line of scrimmage with this Saints defensive front, and they're moving them out, and that's why they're able to pick up the yards with Curtis Martin that they have been able to up to this point.
Couldn't ask for anything more if you're Herman Edwards as far as the time of possession is concerned, but they're down by 7, and this is where they've got to get 7 if they're going to hang in this half. Second and goal from the 6. Testaverde's pass, and it is caught for the touchdown, Anthony Becht. The second-year tight end and the #1 draft pick from West Virginia, but the bad news is that Vinny Testaverde is limping off the field.
Well, he had the Achilles problem 2 years ago. You just hope it has nothing to do with that. You watch here, Anthony Becht right there. He's just going to go up the field and turn around. Vinny finds him and gets him the football.
Yeah, I think actually the injury, watch Leonard Little land and trap that back ankle. Hopefully that's just an ankle sprain, as you pointed out, Troy. Nothing to do with that Achilles tendon.
So Testaverde still is yet to throw an interception, gets the touchdown pass to Becht. And now John Hall on to try to tie this one up, and he does. And the Jets, despite some penalties and going back a few yards, get the touchdown. Testaverde to Becht, and we're all tied at 7. Who went 8 plays on 47 yards to tie the game at 7. John Hall will kick it off for the Jets. Dre Bly and Yo Murphy are back deep. This is Dre Bly, 8 yards in the end zone. And the Rams will start from the 20 when we come back to the Meadowlands.
Proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by Stride Guard insoles. Take more impact than Stride.
Vinny Testaverde's all right. He had his leg rolled up on him. He is fine, but not Shane Burton, who has one of the 2 Jet sacks from the defensive line. He is out with a calf injury and will not return. Rams at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, 7-7. Thus far, a surprisingly low-scoring affair. James Reed Rookie from Iowa State replacing Burton up front for the Jets. Here's Candidate, and he gets a couple.
Well, another guy we want to keep our eye on is Wayne Corbett. He's taken 2 big hits. You can hear that one right there, and he was a little woozy coming after that catch.
Yeah, and then he comes down here, and Grant Winstrom puts a hit on him right here. You can see he's down.
Remember, he suffered a concussion against Miami last week, did not practice on Wednesday, had headaches. But he was in the full workout mode on Friday when we watched him at Hempstead in Long Island. Second down and 8 for the Rams. Play action pass, and it's tipped away, intended for Isaac Bruce, and it's Aaron Glenn, who earlier in the game recovered a Ram fumble, and that will bring up 3rd and long for Kurt Warner.
Yeah, sometimes you get so used, Kurt Warner gets so used to guys being wide open for him and being able to get him the football that in that particular situation, Aaron Glenn was all over Isaac Bruce. There was really nowhere to throw the football, and Kurt forced that one. He was lucky that it was not intercepted.
Isaac Bruce yet to catch a pass today. 3rd and 8. Kurt Warner getting some time, and this pass caught by Bruce. So Isaac Bruce finally making a reception, and Warner had all day a pickup of 22.
Well, that's where it all starts, is you got to have protection up front, something he did not have much of last week. He's able to sit in the pocket. He's got Isaac Bruce working up the field. He's going to start inside. He's going to come back outside on a corner route, and he catches it right in behind Ray Mickens.
So the Rams advance the ball to their 44-yard line, under 3.5 to play in the first half. And here is Oz-Hakeem on the handoff. Oz-Hakeem with a first down, and he pitches it to Trump Candidate, and he will score. No flags are down. Well, it's the option play. Remember that from Oklahoma, Troy?
Well, I'll tell you, Mike March told us before the game he's going to do what he does. I've never seen that play before in the playbook.
I cannot tell you how impressive that is for Trunk Candidate to stay in pitch relationship with Oz-Hakeem. I mean, he never varies. He stays right there, and you can see he's looking for him the whole time.
Here's a look. Oz is looking to get him the football. He finally deals it off. Trunk Candidate running in and out of traffic to keep pitch relationship with him. I know about pitch relationship playing at Oklahoma in the wishbone. But just an outstanding football player.
Jeff Wilkins with the extra point, and the Rams, going into their bag of tricks, have taken a 14-7 lead over the Jets. That was a 56-yard play, and for Candidate, that is his 2nd touchdown in as many weeks, 3rd of the season, and getting the low 5s and the high 5s and the pat on the hands and heads from his teammates. Remember, filling in his first NFL start for the injured Marshall Faulk.
It's kind of like they stole the little play from the Jets. This was very similar. He breaks inside, but Oz-Hakeem, it's so right there you can see he's looking, and you can't see Trung right now as he comes into your picture, not only staying in relationship, but being able to pitch the ball backwards so it's not a forward lateral. Now, you would think these guys both came from a wishbone school.
Well, do you think that Oz-Hakeem, he knows he did a good job right there. I bet the coach told him all week long when they were practicing on this thing, hey, trust me, it'll be a touchdown. And Oz-Hakeem showing right there that it in fact was. I'm wondering what Marshall Faulk is thinking right now. I'm wondering if he's thinking, how come he hasn't got to run that play and catch the pitch?
Well, that's the reason why you transferred to UCLA, isn't it?
To run the option?
No, not to run the option.
That's exactly right.
Officially, it'll go into the books as a 44-yard touchdown run by Trung Candidate after the pitch. So the Rams all smiles, is well-deserved. And there is Marshall Faulk saying, put that in the book next week.
He's
if
saying,
I come
where
back.
has that been?
Well, you wonder if the coaches on the sideline are like, Oz, no, don't pitch it, don't pitch it. Oh, great pitch, great pitch.
So 3:11 remaining in the second quarter. The Rams up again. This time 14-7. Line drive kick into the end zone, and Craig East will not run it out. And the Jets will go to the 20-yard line. Well, coming up next in the big second half of our Fox doubleheader, Culpepper and Favre, Vikings, Packers, and how long have they been going at it? in the NFC Central.
Well, it's such a great matchup between those two football teams, and because of the level of play of these two quarterbacks, it's just become even a bigger rivalry over the years.
Becomes a pretty critical game for the Minnesota Vikings to gain some ground in that NFC Central right there. They can't lose that head-to-head battle.
And the Green Bay Packers trying to do something they don't do that often, win in the Metrodome. First down on the 20 for the Jets. Trailing by a touchdown. The pitch is to Curtis Martin. And Martin is hit by London Fletcher. Maybe a yard on the play. Well, we've been chronicling Wayne Krebet, who got hit twice. He is woozy. That's the report from the Jets sideline, and is out for this series at least.
Yeah, and that's the head trainer right there that he's talking with, and so you can tell that there's something not quite right with Wayne. He said he was fine after last week's hit, and then when he started practicing on Wednesday, he started experiencing some headaches, and he may be experiencing some of those headaches right now.
Kevin Swain, an undrafted rookie, number 82, is in at wide receiver for the Jets, and this pass is picked off by Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams with a lineman to beat, and now Testaverde to beat, and he beats them all. Touchdown for the Rams. 42-yard return, and so Vinny Testaverde's string of not throwing an interception. He had been the only starting quarterback not to throw a pick, ends in 176 attempts, and it really burns as Williams runs it in 42 yards for the touchdown.
Well, they're trying to get the ball to Richie Anderson. He's going to run up. They're running three verticals on this one side. Vinny just overthrows him. Not a real good decision. And here's Vinny trying to make a tackle. He tried doing this earlier in the season and was unable to. And one thing Vinny is not is a tackler.
We saw that in the opening game against Indianapolis. And so for Aeneas Williams, talk about a new life, going from the downtrodden Arizona Cardinals to a team that is undefeated and a lot of people think will make the Super Bowl. This perennial All-Pro makes his 47th interception, giving the Rams a 21-7 lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy right here, Aeneas Williams, he is such a special football player, and I had an opportunity to compete against him for 12 years when he was playing for the Arizona Cardinals, and I always felt that he was the most complete corner in football. Deion Sanders, a tremendous cover guy, but Aeneas Williams, not only a great cover guy, but also a guy who would get up there and play the run. And he's come here to St. Louis, and you can tell the impact that he's made on this football team, not only in his play, but he was voted as a captain of this football team, and you just don't see guys come in their first year and get voted as captains.
And he was one of the guys that Lovie Smith, talking about being able to go out and hand-pick a football player to bring in. When he had the opportunity to get a guy, not only, as you're pointing out, the good things he does in the locker room, but then the ability on the football field, he was just totally surprised that he was going to have a chance to get Aeneas Williams and bring him into the St. Louis Rams football team.
And he was stunned when you told him that he was the best all-around cornerback. Came back out of the room, come back to shake your hand and thank you again. Great Yeast from the 5-yard line. He's already had a 50-yard kickoff return today, and this isn't bad. As he brings it out to the 38, Kim Herring making the tackle. So the Rams pick up 14 points in 55 seconds. That's fast break football.
Well, and that's their whole style, is they want to attack. There's no question, and there's no you talk about Mike Martz and what he tries to do offensively and his whole approach. They're not a team that runs the football a lot, and a lot of coaches would say that that's very unconventional, but where he provides his balance is by dispersing the football to a lot of different people, and that is how he creates his balance offensively.
Near the 2-minute warning for this half. First down, Jets on the 37, and going up on top for the rookie Swain, and the pass thrown out of bounds. And 1:59 on the clock. 2-minute rule for 3 straight years. You have to go back to Curly Lambeau and the Green Bay Packers back in 1929 when Moose was a freshman at Syracuse.
I got some gray hair, but I'm not that old, Dick.
2nd and 10 at the 37. 2-minute warning. Jets have 2 timeouts remaining. Testaverde behind. Richie Anderson, who makes a fancy one-handed grab, gets 5 yards as we check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, you know, Wayne Corbet's known for his toughness, and he's still trying to get back in the ball game. Trainers finally convinced him to go ahead and go in the locker room for an evaluation. That's where he is now, and that's where he's going to stay. We'll update you in the second half. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. A 1-yard pickup to Richie Anderson again.
And Dick, that was a big third down right there, and now they're going to give the ball back to the St. Louis Rams with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for an offense of this ability to get back down the field and get points.
With 1:33 to go, the Rams are calling the timeout, sensing they'll get it back. While we have a moment, want to remind you that coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats.
It's funny how we were just talking a few minutes ago how the game is really unfolding just the way the Jets wanted it to. It's 7-7. They've moved the ball, and now all of a sudden, as Troy pointed out, the fact that boom, it changes that quick, and now here's an opportunity with 1 minute and 33 left for them to get the ball back and maybe go up 28-7 at half when just a few minutes ago everything looked great for them.
Oh, you make a mistake, and this team will burn you as Tom Tupa prepares to punt to Oz Hakeem. Fair catch signaled at the 15. Well, when you talk about leaders on offense, you've got to look at the Rams first. Kurt Warner, 9 of 12 for 127 yards in the touchdown pass to Oz Hakeem, who is the leading receiver, and Trung Candidate, who has 94 yards rushing already. 44 of those coming on the pitch from Hakeem on the option play downfield that resulted in the second Rams touchdown.
Well, I think any questions there may be of whether or not Trung Candidate can carry the load. He's no Marshall Faulk, there's no question, but certainly an effective back and a guy who's going to keep this offense rolling.
How about that for depth, having Faulk and Candidate from the 15-yard line, and the handoff is to Trung Candidate, and bursts out and gives the Rams a first down. At the 27-yard line, Ray Mickens making the tackle. The clock continues to run. The Rams have 2 timeouts left.
Well, he is an explosive runner, and a guy whose running style you might think would struggle on this slick turf today, but he's been the one guy that really has his feet underneath him and hasn't really been affected so far.
The 3 ace wide receivers are out there. Pump fake by Warner, and this pass incomplete. It was overthrown. The intended receiver, Ernie Conwell, and Victor Green diving for the pick, which wasn't there.
Well, the one thing about it is if you give a quarterback this kind of time and put him in a 2-minute offense, in particular a team like this with the St. Louis Rams and the weapons that they have, this secondary for the New York Jets, they are on their heels, and they don't want anybody running by them. They're just trying to get out of this half without giving up anything big.
2nd and 10 at the 27. Warner going underneath to Torrey Holt, and he is stopped at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5 as the clock continues to run. At least the Rams would like to get it into field goal range for Jeff Wilkins, who is yet to miss this year.
Well, they've got 2 timeouts, Dick, and they're letting the clock run. We're at 30 seconds right now. They may be content not getting any points.
Rams 5 of 6, including their last 5 third-down conversions. Warner, first down. Oz Hakeem trying to stop the clock and go out of bounds and cannot do it. The clock continues to run. And now the timeout comes by the Rams with 12 on the shot clock. Well, tonight, the League Championship Series continues at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific on Fox and Fox Sports Net. Most of you will see the Mariners and the Yankees. Yankees lead 2-1 in that series. It's Game 4 of the ALCS. That'll be right here on Fox. You can catch the Diamondbacks battle the Braves in Game 5 of the NLCS over on Fox Sports Net. Arizona, 1 game away from getting into the World Series. Check your local listings for the game and channel in your area. Talk about home field advantage. That hasn't been the case in the LCS in either league thus far.
interesting to see a team that, no sense of urgency up until this point, with 12 seconds left, and all of a sudden they want to take the timeout when the guy gets tackled in bounds. If you're going to save the time, save it before that play.
Here is Asakeem, and he is tackled at the 35. Loss of 3 yards, and the Rams are going to let the clock run out.
Yeah, it surprises me a little bit that they weren't a little bit more aggressive going after him and trying to get points, but 21-7 lead they're happy with.
They'll take it. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Rams 21 and the Jets 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.